And how about those Devils? How about those Devils? And how about those Devils? How about those Devils? And how about those Devils? How about those Devils?
How about those Devils? Oh, welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit the subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And what did we just witness? Wow, folks. I'm still taking this all in. The New Jersey Devils in Edmonton taking on the Oilers in the second game of the Western Canada road trip, looking to keep the good vibes going, looking to continue to claw for points, and in an absolute, what I would call, survival game. This was a survival. Our beloved New Jersey Devils find a way to cling on to a 2-1 victory. And my God, I must ask, I must know.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Wow. Folks, this one was nerve-wracking. I went through all the emotions during the game. There is so much to get to. But obviously, guys, we're sipping on victory drinks tonight. Win or lose, we booze. I'm staying with the Nooners. I had to switch the flavor. I had the multi-pack, and I ran it. But win or lose, we booze. And I don't know how I'm going to do this here. Win or lose, we booze. The sound of cheers to all of you. Cheers to our New Jersey Devils. Cheers to so many of the boys who played their asses off tonight. We're going to get to all that. But first, we're going to have some victory. When it hits your lips, back-to-back Western Canada victories, back-to-back victory drinks. And wow, Jake's in the booth with the boys. This game, again, I don't want to get ahead of myself. You guys already know where I stand on this. The math is the math, but wow, what an inspiring victory. I mean, how could you not be fired up for one like this? This was people. Man, there's already trolls in the chat. I'll take out the trash in a little bit, but wow. Still, obviously, tons of work to do here, but starting out the Western Canada road trip with 2 big victories, absolutely beautiful stuff. And we get to the goals. We get to the goals. First period, Devils had their chances, dictated play, outshot them by a good margin. Unfortunately, had no goals to show for it. Didn't get as many shots as I would have liked, but they were pretty much living in the ozone for large stretches. Inspiring first period for the Devils, and happy to see them come out with some jump. Obviously, the second half of a back-to-back, they historically have been pretty terrible in these games, and they came out and they looked like they were flying early on. They were in that ozone a lot. No goals to show for it. First period ends scoreless, 0-0. We head to the second, and what a second period. Cody Glass picks up the puck in the D zone. He comes flying up the ice. Cody Glass just turning on the jets, comes flying up the ice. He brings it into the ozone, and he hits newjerseydevilspostgame breaking towards the net. Newjerseydevilspostgame with a glorious chance, misses the net. The puck rims around to Dougie on the wall. Dougie fires it back, reverses it, fires it back around the other way to Cody Glass, and Cody Glass with a nice little hesitation move kind of fakes like he's going to go high, totally shakes the defender. He spins back down low, head up the whole way from Cody Glass, and he hits Grits breaking to the net. Beautiful one-timer by Grits that beats Jari at 5:23. Arseni Gritsyuk's 9th of the season from Cody Glass and Dougie Hamilton. Dougie has been on fire. And Dougie Hamilton at 5:23 gives the New Jersey Devils the 1-0 lead. And all is right in the world at that point. All is right in the world. Everything feels phenomenal. But in typical New Jersey Devils fashion, they gave it right back, unfortunately. About a minute and a half later, you can't make this stuff up. It's just so painful. Oilers win an ozone draw, and Wallman just blasted from the point. Brendan Dillon was kind of tied up with Savoy in front. Their sticks were high. The blast hits Savoy somewhere in the body, gets past Jake Allen, and it looked like it may have come off the board temporarily. They reviewed it. Pretty quick review. They obviously saw that it was not hit by a high stick. So unfortunately, it did stand, did not come off the board. Game tied up at 1. And at that point, I think everyone is kind of thinking the same thing, right? Like, is this going to be another game where they kind of wilt on the road? Ruckus building, obviously, in Edmonton. How will the boys respond to the adversity? And it didn't take long. It did not take long at all. A minute and a half. Is that about a minute and a half later? Yeah, a minute and a half later, the play, it starts with Cody Glass kind of getting bullied a little bit of a wrestling match with Darnell Nurse. And during the sequence, Nurse goes for a line change, but you cannot undersell the effort of Johnny Kovacevic on this one. Kovacevic from in the D zone has his head up, and he snaps a beautiful pass to the neutral zone to Connor Brown. Connor Brown immediately passes it to Grits, and Grits returns the favor and gets it straight across to a streaking Cody Glass, who blasts it past Jari. Unbelievable sequence, and it starts with Johnny Kovacevic. Unfortunately, he does not pick up an assist on the play, but this play does not happen without his heads-up stretch pass there. And Kovacevic, what a beautiful pass to get to Brown. And then Brown to Grits, and Grits finds Cody Glass streaking to the net. Cody Glass, folks. Cody Glass. Cody Glass. 11th of the season. Unbelievable stuff at 8:32 from Grits, and Connor Brown gives the Devils the 2-1 lead, and that is how the period would end. What a night for that Grits, Glass, Brown line. Unbelievable stuff. I'm not sorry. It's they were switching around. I'm all messed up right now. It's been a long night. But yeah, and Haminaho was out there too. Yeah, they were switching them around. But Grits, Glass, Haminaho, Brown, everyone flying. What a game. What a game. We go to the third period, Devils up 2-1, and they are just in absolute survival mode. Outshot at one point 11-0 in that third period. I don't know what the hell happened. Obviously, thrilled with the victory. They were just in survival mode, but they got it done. No goals against in that third period. Some scary moments with the extra attacker for the Oilers. Pesci blocking shots. Jake Allen with a million insane saves in that third period. And Jake Allen, folks, Jake Allen has to probably be my player of the game. There's so many great players of the game. Before I get into the stats, I'm looking at my notes here. Johnny Kovacevic, you guys know I have sung this man's praises for a very long time. A lot of people were super negative about his contract when it was signed. This is in the old cap era at a $4 million cap hit. And when the new cap got announced and the expectations of where it's going, phenomenal stuff. At $4 million for this guy, anyone who chirped that contract is insane. Johnny Kovacevic is a throwback warrior, uses the body, cannot ignore the first period. He pops Connor McDavid coming through, hits McDavid, and then the Oiler guy, I'm going to butcher his name, comes flying over and immediately challenges Kovacevic. Kovacevic drops the gloves, and we get a scrap. Heavier, edgier, more violent. We need more of it. Johnny Kovacevic setting the tone early. Decks their superstar and then sheds the mitts and wins the fight. I mean, God, I love this guy. And then he had that crazy pass on the second goal. He made that whole play happen. Johnny Kovacevic is my personal player of the game. Heavier, edgier, more violent. Love to see it. Set the tone early. Get the boys involved. But there were so many guys that had great games. Obviously, Grits had a phenomenal game. Glass had a phenomenal game. Jake Allen, obviously, in the conversation. I mean, my God, this had a little bit of everything. And the Devils held the Oilers to 9 shots through the first 2 periods. Completely New Jersey Devils throwback hockey. It looked like the 95 to 2000 Devils there. Completely just stymieing them. And then obviously in the third, the Oilers were getting their chances. But what a game all around for so many guys. Heavier, edgier, more violent. They just seem to be more kind of engaged when we see a little bit of the rough stuff. And Johnny Kovacevic, folks, what an absolute animal. Love to see this guy coming back from injury. Shimo Nemitz obviously swapped to his offside for this game, bailing out the Devils so they don't have to scratch anybody. But wow, we get to the game stats. Devils 17 shots on goal. Would like to see a little bit more there. Oilers with 22. Devils got absolutely destroyed in the faceoff circle. I don't know what the hell happened, but 38.6% to 61.4. That is just domination. Devils power play looked pretty ugly. 0 for 1 in the power play. Oilers go 0 for 2 on their power play chances, and we got to give it up. Big penalty kills in big moments. The PK came to play, and one of them was when Dilly took that delay game and was in the box. One of our better penalty killers had to do it without Dilly, but my God, the PK came up big. Devils 14 hits to the Oilers 17 hits. Devils with 10 block shots. Oilers with 12 block shots. Devils 12 giveaways. Oilers with 19 giveaways. Devils with 4 takeaways and the Oilers with 3 takeaways. What a phenomenal game. Let me turn this off. I got this thing in my ear here. But thrilling victory. I mean, wow. It wasn't the prettiest, but gutsy road win. And once again, we ask ourselves, could this be a turning point kind of game? Can they build on this? Can this end up being the road trip that potentially saves the season? I don't want to get ahead of myself. Listen, guys, the math is what it is. They are where they are. But if they can consistently play like this, it's inspiring. I mean, this was like a playoff-ish kind of game. Tight checking, chances back and forth. They've been gritty. And if this Devils team shows up on most nights, they have a good chance to win a lot of games. But the problem is, can we consistently get this version of the team? We take a look at some of the player stats here. Cody Glass, a goal and an assist, 4 shots. What a game for Cody Glass. Connor Brown with an assist, a shot. Andre Palat had a shot, 3 blocks and 2 hits. Teemo Meier, 3 shots and a hit. lennihameenaho, not much going on there. Jesper Bratt with 2 blocks. Sort of quiet night for Jack Hughes. Grits with the big goal assist. 2 points on the night. Dilly with a block and 3 hits. Dougie Hamilton, massive assist, 2 blocks and a hit. Kovacevic, big hit on McDavid, big fight. Does not get credit for the assist, but he is a huge factor in that second goal. Brett Pesce, 2 shots. We got Siegs with 2 blocks and 4 hits. And Jake the Snake Allen, 21 saves on 22 shots. And some of them were absolutely just insane quality chances. Insane quality chances. Cheers to all of you, the High Nooners. Cheers to all of you. Victory drinks taste phenomenal. Cheers to the New Jersey Devils. Cheers to all the guys who just dug deep and found a way to win this game. I mean, my God, that last minute or so was super frightening. I hope Pesce's okay. I didn't get to see. I don't know if the camera followed him. He blocked at least one big shot and looked like he was kind of laboring. But this might be a Jake the Snake Allen kind of steal. We'll talk about the goalies in a minute. Deserve to win a meter. No surprise here. And this is probably largely contingent on that third period, which was just an all-out assault by the Oilers that the Devils managed to survive. The deserve to win a meter has the Devils at 26.8% and the Oilers at 73.3%. Not too great, obviously. A lot of chances against, but Devils now winners 4 of their last 5. And can they keep it going? Can they keep it going? 2-0 on the Western Canada trip thus far. 2 days off, and we'll play Friday night in Vancouver And then again, Sunday afternoon against the Kraken. I mean, can they really do this? I mean, going into this, I think everyone was like, listen, if we could go 3-1, to go 3-1 over the trip would kind of be a win. And that's kind of the level they need to play for the rest of the season. But after being 2-0, I mean, let's get greedy, kids. Let's get absolutely greedy. Let's see if these boys could somehow find a way to win all 4. I mean, that would certainly be interesting. And we go to the standings, obviously. Let's get a little, just to put this all into perspective. The New Jersey Devils currently 6th in the wild card with 54 points. They find themselves 4 points currently out of the second wild card spot occupied by the Bruins, who got stomped by the Stars tonight, and 3 points out of the third spot in the Metro, but the Penguins have 2 games in hand. We've played 2 more games than them. Again, it's very difficult to predict which way this is going to go. I do think a lot of people are adamantly on the train of it will be easier to get the third spot in the Metro, I guess, just by the sheer amount of teams you'd have to leap over. It'd probably be at least 2 or 3 less than the wild card spot, but you never know how it's all going to play out. And either way, the division is tight. The conference is tight. They cannot afford to give games and points away anymore. And they got to just keep playing inspired hockey. But tonight was certainly something to behold. The New Jersey Devils take out Connor McDavid and the Oilers, and what I would say is the win of the season. I mean, as these games get more and more important, as we have less and less games remaining, these games are huge. Tonight was the Devils' 50th game. They have 32 games left to try to pull off the near impossible. Can they do it? Can they do it? I certainly hope so. And I guess I'm trying to think before I get into the comments here. Circling back to the goaltending thing, if I'm being honest, and you guys know I love Markey. I absolutely love Markey, but if I'm being honest, I don't think we win this game with Markey in net tonight. I really don't. Just a lot of different types of shots where I'm like, there was that one, I forget who it was, came in tight and did a couple moves, and Jake the Snake had to sprawl out and got a leg pad on it. Like, there was just certain ones where I'm like, that's a goal if Markey's in there. Markey has been playing a lot better as of late. Islanders beat down aside, but I do think we might come to a point where there could potentially be a goaltending controversy. I know the Devils really want Markey to be the guy, but listen, I hope Markey in his next starts dominates and both him and Jake Allen play phenomenal. But, there's not a lot of leeway here, right? Like, we need to try to win every game. If there's a sign of any sort of Markey, like, consistent struggling, they got to just let Jake run with the net, because this guy looked A1 tonight. And I know the things are out there. They're like, oh, Jake Allen can't carry the load and this and that and all that other stuff. Like, a lot of that's kind of a narrative that I see a lot of people talking about. And it's like, well, maybe we should test the theory, because if we see Markey slip, are you going to constantly keep trotting him out there and, just be defiant in the face of reality? And listen, you guys know I love Markey, and I hope he does get back to the form we saw from him, mid last season when he looked like a legitimate Vezina candidate. But if he looks shaky at all, there's no time to play right now. If he looks shaky at all, you have Jake Allen. He's at the top of his game. You need to give this man the net and let him run with it, because tonight was a Jake the Snake theft, a Jake the Snake special. He stole that one. He literally held it down. That third period was an absolute shooting gallery. And, I love both these guys, but you got to ride the hot hand. And I hope Markey, continues to play hot as well. But Jake the Snake gave us probably the goaltending performance, despite not a ton of shots in terms of quantity. Some of those were just absolutely insane. And now we get to the comments. Steph, the Phobia Slayer, thank you for the super. How many beers do the Devils skaters owe Jake Allen tonight? Oh, Steph, I don't think Jake Allen could be properly rewarded with beers. My man needs some quality filet mignon, champagne. I don't know if he's into truffles, caviar, whatever it is. Jake the Snake deserves to be wined and dined like no other, because he put this team on his back tonight and stole 2 points for the Devils in Edmonton. There is no question about it. And so they're going to have to do a lot better than beer, because this was a Jake the Snake signature performance. Maybe even as a New Jersey Devil, if I'm being honest, considering the importance of the game and all of that, he's had a couple real, at least a handful, I would say, of just amazing starts during his time here. But this one certainly will be memorable and kind of ranked towards the top. But thank you very much, Steph. Hopefully the boys do repay Jake Allen's hard work. Steph with another one. Thank you. I'm doing a victory drink with you right now. Ace, cheers to this performance. Cheers to you, Steph. Cheers to you. Cheers to Jake the Snake. Cheers to this team for gutting out a huge victory and kind of staying alive, right? I mean, wow. Got to just keep winning. Got to keep winning. Devils Island Podcast. Thank you for the super. A throwback road win. Keep it going, boys. This certainly was. We saw a little bit of fisticuffs. We saw only 9 shots through 2 periods before the dam kind of broke in the third. But this was a low scoring, gritty affair. This one, the Devils should be proud of. Hopefully they could build on it. Again, I would have personally liked to see them, score more than 2 goals. Certainly would have been nice. Would have certainly liked to see more than 2 goals, but like you guys know, I am thrilled to get a win and 2 points any way they come. But this one was nice. This one was nice, and hopefully they build off it. And, playing bad teams scares me, right? Vancouver's a bad team, and so is Calgary. A lot of these games are going to be close. And I did think coming into the season that we would see more of these 3-2 type games, given what I believed our defense and goaltending would look like for this year heading into the season. On a lot of nights, obviously, both or either one or both goaltending and D have looked problematic, but that was not the case tonight. No, it was not. And wow, I'm fired up. I'm not going to be able to go to sleep until. But thank you very much, Devils Island. David Chimes, thank you for the super. Only one of 7 opponents before break over playoff line. Oh, so you're talking about like the strength of schedule here. Listen, I get it, David. And, if I could pick between, 7 of 10 being out of the playoffs or playoff teams, I'm obviously going to pick to play the non-playoff teams every single time. But we know how this team historically in the past few seasons has played against, quote unquote basement dwellers or crappy teams, right? So in this league, as you all know, especially you, David, that any team is capable of beating anyone on any given night. This team should certainly not overlook anyone or take any games for granted. But yeah, I mean, obviously I'll take that over playing playoff teams. And hopefully we can continue to demoralize the Vancouver Canucks season a little bit more. They're obviously in the basement of the league. They lost their captain and best player, Quinn Hughes. Obviously there's guys playing for contracts. There's something, everyone's playing for something in the end, whether it's, more ice time to play on a better line, a contract, maybe to get traded to a better team. But there's plenty of motivation even for crap teams. And so hopefully the Devils don't take any of these guys lightly. But I certainly would prefer to play, 7 teams not in the playoffs versus playoff teams. But thank you very much, David. Really appreciate that. David Ryan, thank you for the super. Jake the Snake. Appreciate you mentioning to the chat that I almost jinxed it by predicting. I appreciate you not mentioning to the chat that I almost jinxed it by predicting on X the equalizer after Grit's goal. Yeah, I didn't do it to you. And I try. I'm on the X a lot, and I try to be a little active in the chat, but there's a lot. I'm trying to be locked into the game, and I'm like typing without looking for a lot of this stuff. But yeah, you really did jinx it, David. After the Devils' first goal, I don't know, I posted something about the goal, and David's like, how long till they give it back? And I'm like, hopefully we take a 2-0 lead. And then like I sent that tweet back to David, and then like 10 seconds later, the Oilers scored. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I immediately tweeted him back, and I'm like, you jinxed. Oh, you son of a, no, you jinxed it. And then shortly after that, Cody Glass scored again. It was a wild sequence of events. A little bit of a goal-a-thon there. But what a game, David. Appreciate you. Appreciate the super. Appreciate you staying up late night. And the New Jersey Devils, guys, got to keep these good vibes going and staying alive. All right, now let me see what time we're at. All right, I don't want to get too far behind. Here, but let's see what we got. Who is this clown, Eric? Eric, you're a loser, brother. Go to sleep. No one wants to say. Wait, hold on, let me just see what this is. Eric must be one of these people that if everything's not sunshine and rainbows, you're a terrible person. And if if you're honest about a situation, he gets in his feelings and cries. Or maybe Eric is a Fitz burner. I can't even see it. There's too many comments. Scott, hit the like for your boy. Appreciate you. Justin, rare back-to-back wins. Pig Dolo, Dougie 6 game in a row with a point or more. Man, isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy what a healthy scratch will do? I'm very curious to see what Fitz does with Dougie, obviously. It's a little bit of a conundrum at the moment. I'd imagine he's now probably waiting to see what happens with what the prognosis is on Luke, and we'll probably have more information about that in the next couple days. But maybe Fitz will hold off and wait to kind of see where we are at the deadline, and if we're far out, maybe and hopefully that's not the case, but then maybe he'll consider shipping Dougie then. It's certainly an interesting situation. G. Orlando says, smash that glass. Oh, you mean this? This glass? Is this the glass you meant? Cody Glass. What a surprise. I was texting with my man, Steve the Maniac, during the game. I think Cody Glass has to be, at this juncture, through 50 games, sort of the unsung hero of the season, I would say. Let's see what... I think Cody Glass is firmly the unsung hero of the team at the moment. Let's see. He's tied for fourth on the team. So you ready for this stat, guys? Who would have ever thought this? Are you ready for this? I actually have to pull it up. Because this is just so psychotic. Hold on, folks. Bear with me. I got to clip a graphic. This might be the craziest stat of the season thus far. I knew it was going to be wild. I didn't think it was going to be this wild. All these stupid buttons. All right, so we look at the Devils' goals. We got the captain, Nico, leading the way with 15 through 50 games, which is pretty underwhelming. Obviously, Teemo. Everyone just having a down year. Massively down year across the board for everyone. We got the dog, Dawson Mercer, also with 13 goals. And then check this. Tied for fourth on the team with 11 goals. Jesper Bratt and Cody Glass. But the even crazier part about this stat is that Cody Glass has the same amount of goals, 11, as Jesper Bratt in 11 less games played. Let that sink in. Cody Glass has the same amount of goals as Jesper Bratt on the season in 11 less games. Wow. I think that's the most shocking stat of the season thus far for me. I mean, that's insane. Cody Glass and Bratt are tied with 11 goals. Cody Glass, 11 less games. But what a season for Glass. He's definitely my unsung hero of the season. Randall says Siegs may have saved the goal at the end. Yeah, I think he blocked a big shot down the stretch. Chill Anselmo. What a defensive performance by the boys, and Jake was a wall. Yes, he was. The D looked good this game. Tropical Flamingo, I'm very hopeful for these next two. Going to be in Vancouver Thursday, and then Friday for game, and then down to Seattle for Sunday Western finale. Want to stay undefeated at Devils road games. Hopefully your streak continues, my friend. I know you've been reporting that they've been winning all the road games you go to. Hopefully that keeps up, because we certainly need all the points we could get. Trade Luke and Jack says, these are the games when you lose your important player to injury simply because they have to block tons of shots. Terrible. Well, I mean, what do you want them to do? You not want them to block shots? Then I feel like you'd complain about that. Yeah, that's part of the game. You got to block the shots. Dan says, what a pickup Cody Glass was last year. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I was super disappointed with it at the time because it was a deadline acquisition. I know a lot of us were foolishly hoping for a big fish. And when Cody Glass and Sprong were announced, we were like, ooh, like super underwhelming. But in the end, he has been a great depth piece for this team. Really has been. Sook says maybe Dougie's been hibernating. Randall, why does our D seem disjointed with Markey but great with Jake? I don't know. It is super weird. Like the team overall does seem to play better in front of Allen for some reason, but I don't know. I'd imagine we're going to see. I think we probably see 1-1. So we got Friday, Sunday. Yeah, I'm curious how they do these starts. I mean, if I had to bet on it, and especially because it's a team he's played for, I think they'll go Markey Friday and Jake on Sunday. But who knows? Sometimes these things get a little difficult to predict as well. Maybe they'll want to get Jake right back out there because he's hot. I don't know. But Jake the Snake certainly showing his value to this club tonight. And the whole season, honestly. World's worst game or toughest game coming up in the next 4 will be home versus Trashville. In the next 7 total, I worry about beating the Isles. I worry about every game. I worry about every single game. There's no easy wins in this league. Jeremy Proper, did we finally goalie another team? It certainly seems like it. I think tonight would be classified as the Oilers getting goalied for sure. Sook says more confidence in Jake. Trade Luke and Jack says elevate Glass to the first line. Let's not get carried away. World's Worst Gamer says Dougie needed a kick in the ass. Maybe he did. I mean, what a response to being scratched, right? I mean, my God, this guy's on fire. Chill Anselmo, Cody Glass, just a Wolverine on the puck and always seems to make the heads up play. Very smart player. Very, very, very smart player. Russo, Jake Allen putting the boys on his back in the third. Love to see it. Rapid Blue is the new black. They easily could have lost this game 6-2. Jake the Snake, my boy Allen, stole this game. Absolutely love him and love you, Ace. Thumbs up for your boy. Appreciate you, Rapid. Thank you, sir. What a game. Jake the Snake, smash the like, you nerds. All right, I'm trying to catch up a little bit over here. B now says survival mode is right. 11-0. Jake, and some amazing blocks by Siegs and Pesci. How I got here, Jeremy Proper. The last kick saved by Siegs was a game changer, and the TNT crew missed it. Yeah, guys were just laying out all over the place at the end. Sacrificing the body trying to preserve that win. Brandon says if Jack is still very injured, they should move him down and bring Glass up. I mean, he's obviously still very injured, but he could still create. I don't know about that. And plus, he seems to be having real nice chemistry with Grits. Paul Cotter's probably watching that like, son of a bitch, you stole my line mate, because he was looking great with Grits as well in the preseason. Hopefully that fourth line could get cooking soon too. David Chimes says if you love Cody Glass, Kovacevic, Grits, and Jake Allen, but hate Tom Fitzgerald, hit the like for Ace. Appreciate that. Hit the thumbs up. Don't be stingy. B now says Jake Allen stole that game big time. NJ Swamp Fox says not many defensive turnovers tonight. Coincidence? Oh, I already knew someone was going to bring it there. The Devils now 17-0 after leading after the second period. They flashed the graphic. 16-0 leading after 2. Love to see it. Got to be able to close out games when you have the lead. When you have the lead, got to close it out. Randall Flagg, Kovacevic is a beast. Absolutely. Absolutely. Suk says, forgot about Kovacevic dropping the gloves. That 10-minute misconduct on Pod Colson was BS, though. So it is funny. I forgot to talk about that in my excitement. About the win and the game and all of that. I did tweet on X that as a hockey fan, I was outraged. The league is just entirely too soft and they're trying to get rid of fights. To me, that was a perfect hockey sequence. Superstar comes flying down the middle. Superstar being Connor McDavid. Our defenseman, Kovacevic, gives him a little shot, pops him nice. No big deal. Gives him a little shot. His teammate comes over, takes exception to it, goes after Kovacevic. Kovacevic immediately answers the bell, sheds the mitts. We have a little tilt, and that's it. To me, that is the perfect time. It'd be the poster child of the incident where hockey fights are beautiful. It wasn't like this overly staged one. It was in the heat of the moment. Guy hits your superstar. You go after him. He sheds the mitts. You go, and that's it. I thought it should have been 5 minutes each. Obviously, as a Devils fan, happy to get a power play. But in terms of, a pure hockey fan and kind of old school kind of throwback guy like you guys know I am, I thought that was ridiculous. He gets a 2, 5, and a 10. Like, they're trying so hard. They are trying so hard to remove fights from hockey. And it's like, that's where the fights make sense. Like, why are you trying so hard to discourage guys from fighting? That was a beautiful sequence. That's hockey. I was furious. For the Oilers because it's just Bush League stuff. Like, a 2, 5, and a 10 for that. Like, give me a break. It'd be another story if, like, maybe Kovacevic hesitated and people are like, oh, guys shouldn't have to answer the bell if it's a clean hit. Like, listen, I don't mind that. You want to hit a superstar, you have to know there's a chance someone's going to come after you and go and fight them. And if you don't, then you'll kind of be known as a coward. It is what it is. But I thought that was completely ridiculous that he got a 2, 5, and a 10 for that. And I said as much on Twitter. The Kane, you're giving Fitz credit on a good contract. What world are we in? So in terms of this, you guys know where I stand with Fitz. However, your boy Ace does pride myself on being fair. I think I've been more than fair to pretty much everybody, and I've given him credit on a ton of things and have defended him against people attacking him for things that I thought were kind of ridiculous. I call it as I see it. Now, with all of the sins that I do believe he's committed and the seasons and promising seasons, or what should have been promising seasons, flushed down the toilet, you guys know where I stand. However, I do think he's had tons of great contracts. My biggest issue with him is his in-season inactivity, or a little bit of a coma, which have cost us seasons. But I've liked a lot of his contracts and have praised him for them, including his kind of free agent 2 summers ago, his shopping frenzy when he went out and got, traded for Kovacevic, he traded for Cotter, he signed Dillon, he signed Pesci. Like, I praised all those moves. I thought those were good moves. I thought the Kovacevic signing was good. I said that at the time, even though it wasn't very popular. And even earlier this season, people were complaining about it. Like, listen, I'm always going to call it like I see it. And I do think he's signed a bunch of good contracts. Now Kovacevic laid out McDavid, but he made some D errors. Still love him. Yeah, well, listen, that pass, go back and watch the initial pass from the D zone that sets up that last goal. Chill. Allen has allowed 1 or fewer goals in 9 starts this season. How is he not ahead of Markey? They have a vision, but at some point, if it does not pan out the way you want it to, you must go to plan B. And that plan B is letting Jake Allen run with the net if it comes down to it. Eric says, Ace the Doomer. Like, what is this guy? What is the Doomer? What is the Doomer? Justin, TNT is really disappointed the Devils won tonight. They looked dejected. Yeah, it really did seem like a very pro-Edmonton broadcast in general. B-Now says Jake Allen, player of the game by a lot. World's Worst Gamer says Legion of Realists. That's what I like to say. Jared Barnes, when Markey comes out of the crease, he makes me a nervous wreck. Slow to get back and sometimes comes out way too far and leaves the goal wide open. Jake Allen has been solid. I did like that the Markey poke check. The Markey poke check attempt last night was kind of crazy. Ryan Cola, everyone was solid tonight. Let's sweep this road trip, please. Would love to see it. Would absolutely love to see it. I knew someone was going to go there who was missing tonight. Tropical Flamingo, Kovacevic, and Allen were the 2 stars of the game for me. Yeah, I would go in no particular order. Kovacevic, Allen, Grits, and Glass. They all got to get their flowers. Great games for all of them. Justin said defense looked better without Luke. Benjamin, 12 giveaways. Wonder why that's so low. You guys are funny. Michael says if we make the playoffs, every doomer on here can get bent. Jared, the PK was solid tonight for sure. All right, I got to catch up. I'm super behind here. Super behind. World's Worst Gamer says, anyone think maybe Dougie has settled in because management said to him they are no longer trying to deal him? That's an interesting theory. I don't know that we'll ever have an answer to it, but it's pretty interesting. Dude, this guy Eric is such a clown. Oh my God, what a loser. Luke with no turnovers. My bop, 20 points for Gritsyuk. Eric's real close to getting banned. Real close. You have early onset Frank the Tank disease? No, I'm very realistic, my friend. I'm sorry that the truth hurts you and you're too fragile to listen to it, but no one's asking you to be here. Run along. PK was perfect. PK getting back to respectability. Oh, I forgot about this one. This is a big play, Jared. Anyone else feel like the interference call on Brown should have gone the other way on McDavid? Yeah, it did seem like, he initiated the contact, right? So it easily could have been a penalty. I forgot about that on McDavid, but then they hit Brown with one too. I thought that was kind of bush league. And then McDavid had the audacity to freak out about it. Like, buddy, what are you talking about? You initiated the contact. Trade Luke and Jack says 800 hockey. In the last 5 games, we were going to the postseason. Hopefully they can keep it up. Yeah, the deserve to win is meaningless, but I like to just look at it for fun. Justin says TNT still mad right now. All right, I'm scanning ahead here. I got super chatty. Suk says we lose 5-1 with Markey and net. I don't know about that, but B-Now says, Ace, you're being honest. Markey probably loses this game. Allen was insanely good. Yeah, there was too many hairy moments, I'll call them, where you're like, I don't know that without Allen in there that the result of the game is the same. Michael says 6-game heater on the way. Would love to see that. All right, let's see. Jeremy Popper says, let's see the snake carry the mail. What do we have to lose at this point? Rest Markey. I give him, give him his starts and just keep a close eye on it. Swamp Fox says, I think the stats show Allen gets shaky if overused. He was awesome tonight. If Markey stays bad, why not bring Dawes up? Because what are they going to do with Markey, though? That's the thing. They're going to force Markey no matter what. And hopefully it doesn't come to that. Let's just all hope that Markey is dominant and we have 2 goalies that give us a great chance to win on any given night. David Keefe needs to stick up to Fitz. Wines not look bad on an early extension and play Allen more. Markey had last 4 starts. Allen was great in our game versus Edmonton in New Jersey in October. Yeah, fair point. I mean, they did force Markey that string of starts there. We'll see. I think they'll probably split the next 2. Yanko, late night crew, smash the like for your boy. Appreciate you. All right, I'm super far back now. Devils are not soft. Where were you when Lenny saved the season? What would Lenny do? I want to see Lenny shoot more. I wish he buried that chance. I mean, we still got a goal a couple seconds after he missed the net, but that would have been nice. I think he'll break through soon. Ace, the Husky Star, says, I think the issue with the Kovacevic contract was mainly the fact our defense is almost solidified. Yeah, but I think you have to realize the whole world did not anticipate Dougie being here long term, right? Or at least not after this season. So, how could you not like to have a right shot D knowing that Dougie's not long for this team? I don't know. It made perfect sense to me. And he brings that element that no one else does. I mean, when was the last time you saw one of our defensemen, or a forward even for that matter? I guess Teemo crushed Aho the other day. But when was the last time you saw a defenseman on the Devils make a star player on the other team pay the price for trying to, for cutting through the middle? Like, it doesn't happen anymore. Mark, thoughts on Lenny tonight and last night? I'm a Hameenaho guy. After last night, I said, given what we've seen from the bottom six throughout the year, Hameenaho should be on the team for the rest of the year, in my opinion. Like, go through the growing pains. They're going to happen. He's going to make mistakes. Not every game is going to be a great one, but I do think he could bring something in the bottom six for this season. And obviously, you hope that he's a piece for this team going forward and into the future. I mean, everyone knows we don't have many offensive prospects, and he's probably like the last one that's really truly noteworthy. So let him get the rest of this season to kind of get his feet wet. Issue with the Kobe contract, the fact our defense. Yeah, I just talked about this. Did you write this twice? No, but everyone knew Dougie wasn't going to be here long term. That's the point. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you weren't aware, but I'm pretty sure the whole universe knew that Dougie's time was ticking. Corey, I was at the game tonight. Very nice. Jake was lights out. Jack's hand is still wrecked. Can't handle a hard pass or put anything on a shot. Grits, Glass, and Brown needs to be aligned for the rest of the season. Tay McLeod, I don't know what's going on with Bratt, but it's so frustrating to watch him just end plays after Jack and Teemo set him up, immediately turn the puck over when he gets in the ozone. Yeah, he was kind of invisible tonight, I thought. I don't know. And I'm wondering, do they potentially try a different combination with Bratter and Jack? He didn't even have a shot. Like, yeah, I don't know. Jack and Teemo, obviously, everyone knows they've never really looked great together. And tonight's post-game also brought to you by Quick Check. Got to have the iced coffee, intravenous drip to stay awake. Sean, what a performance by the boys tonight. Edge of my seat all night, especially the third. Yeah, it was a frightening third period. It was certainly a frightening third period. I'm getting closer to current times here. Sean, leave a like for your boy Ace. Let's go. Devils Fire Fits. Thanks, man. Smash the thumbs up. Smash the thumbs up. Trade Luke and Jack says maybe Teemo's long beak distracts him. Come on, man. Jared, you guys who talk ish about Teemo, I don't get it. The guy does so many other things that this team needs. I know his scoring is dip, but the people who talk are stupid and don't know hockey. I kind of agree with you, but these are the people. There's a certain group of people that will form an opinion at some point in time, and then that will become a narrative for the rest of their lives. And so there's a lot of people that decided they did not like Teemo Meier at some point. I'm not exactly sure when it is. I'm sure maybe it was probably some people even when we first got him, or maybe it was after some period of time. But once these people decided they did not like Teemo, it was their life mission to smack talk this man until the end of time. And I've said time and time again, for me, the kind of personification of being an adult is that, and I do this often with a lot of things, aside from Devils and sports and whatever, is that I could have an opinion one day, and then weeks later, I could change my opinion with new evidence provided, whether that's games, play, whatever it is. As new information and new evidence comes about, I can change my opinion. You know, you might meet a guy named Johnny who you think is a cool guy on a Friday, and then you find out he did some real cruddy stuff next week, and it's like, okay, well, it's next Thursday, and I don't think Johnny's a good guy anymore. I mean, the same thing with players, you know, or anything with sports. Like, you know, I originally in the summer said I did not think it was wise for the Devils to trade Dougie just yet because I was still kind of nervous about what we really had with Nemo. I wanted to see more of a body of work from him before we just said, oh, we don't need Dougie. We could, you know, Luke and Nemo will carry the load. I thought it was a little premature. Now, you know, as the season went on, Nemo had a breakout season. I was like, okay, given where we are with cap space and all that, I'm now comfortable with trading Dougie. But as an adult, you should be able to, you know, change your opinion over time based on facts, events, evidence, whatever you want to call it. But these Teemo haters never happen. It will never happen. You know, where's that energy for everybody else? You know, Jack's having a down year. Nico's having a down year. Bradder's having a down year. Like, where's all the hate for them? All the big guns are having atrocious seasons. But the anti-Teemo crowd, Teemo haters going to hate. Not to mention they don't play Teemo on his natural right side. Yeah. Trevor says, Ottawa calls and they offer you Brady for Jack and Luke. What do you do? Oh, boy. I'd be curious to see what the chat says about that. Tropical Flamingo Glass has been balling. Considering he's not top scorer, but love what he's providing for us. Play on the ice determines value and playing hard. And we're certainly getting our money's worth plus some at his $2.5 million cap hit. Absolute steal. Suk says, according to Oilers Twitter, we goalied them. I would say so. That third period was a Jake Allen masterpiece. B-Now says, Glass has more goals than Glass. He could be on the top line. He's sure better than Palat. I don't know. Maybe it was a typo. That Grits Glass Hameenaho line was cooking. Devils stay winning nationally broadcast games. Yeah, even though I don't like the national broadcast games, if their record is favorable, keep them coming. Yeah, what time did this one start tonight? Like 10:20? Benjamin Hughes, utterly terrified of any contact. I imagine more so since his brother's probably out for the season. How many turnovers did he have? He is no longer a significant asset. I mean, I would classify this as extreme hate. Again, like normal criticism, cool, but like this is insane. How many turnovers did he have? Let me see. Let me see. Jack Hughes had no giveaways tonight. 0. Brandon says, got to admit, the Devils play very good with a lead. The problem is they never have the lead. Yeah, I forget. I think through 45 games, it was like they gave up the first goal 28 times. It's pretty brutal for a team with this many offensive weapons to surrender the first goal 28 out of 45 games. Michael says, saying Jack is not a significant asset is crazy talk. I agree with that. I mean, a lot of you people are very extreme in your opinions. G. Orlando says, perfect hit in the fight, drop the gloves at the same time. Welcome back, Kovacevic. What a welcome back, right? What a great sequence there. SJ says, good job by Covey. Big hit on McDavid. Can't let him walk in. Absolutely not. And I hope we see this more often. Make guys pay the price. There's no price to be paid. Way too often, these guys are just freewheeling all over the place, and nobody wants to smash guys anymore. I want to see guys start smashing people. M-Force says, maybe Jack is just trying to make it to the Olympics, and that's why he's being overly cautious. I would hate for that to be the case, but it very well could be. Again, it's just a speculation. We'll never know. Brandon says, I love fights. Best thing about hockey, but the fact McDavid tries to run through our D-man and gets hit for being so greedy and Covey has to fight is kind of dumb. I disagree. I just think it's one of those things where if you're going to deck a superstar player, know that one of his teammates may want to fight you. I'm fine with that. One of my other friends, I texted about it during the game, and he was like, "This is so stupid. Like, you shouldn't have to fight if you check a guy." Like, I don't know. I feel like it's always been a part of the game. And in the end, Kovacevic could have refused. I don't even know. Would that guy have gotten even more penalties? I mean, he got a 2-5 and a 10. Like, if Kovacevic stood there, I wonder what would have happened. Snow Devil says, "Hey, stop the glass sound effect. You're going to injure Jack." Oh, God. Jokes, but Cody's a beast. Absolute beast. Absolute beast. World's Worst Gamer says, "Jake Allen hasn't played 50 or more in the regular season since 17-18. Probably don't want to push it." Well, I mean, what is he at now? He's nowhere near pace for that, I don't think. What are we at? Yeah, I mean, he's played 25. So essentially half of the games. He's on pace for like 41. I would roll that dice if we have to. Hopefully Markey gives us great starts too. But if it comes down to it, you got to ride the hot hand. Tay McLeod Gritzy just did his first all-English interview without Sarge translating too. I didn't get to see any of it. Obviously, I jumped right on here. I look forward to checking all that out when I log off eventually. Actually, why didn't I'm an idiot. Bear with me 1 second here. I don't know how I forgot to do this. I don't always do. I haven't done this in a while, actually, but this game, I thought it was interesting. Yeah, so the actual 3 stars of the game. The 3rd star, Jake the Snake, definitely warranted. I mean, how does Hyman get a star of the game for getting a bunch of shots and not scoring? That's complete bullshit. The 2nd star probably should have been. I would probably go. I would personally, if I had to rank, and I don't like to get into this, but I'll do it for this one. I would give Jake Allen the 1st star of the game. The 2nd star would probably be Grits, and the 3rd star would be Cody Glass. Those would be my 3. I put Kovacevic 4. I got to give it to the point producing guys. But that second goal, don't forget, that 2nd goal absolutely does not happen without that Johnny Kovacevic initial pass. But does not show up on the score sheet there. World's Worst Gamer says this season is going to kill so many fans of so many fan bases. Quite a few playoff spots maybe decide on the last day. Oh, it's going to be wild. It is going to be completely wild. Down to the wire. Down to the absolute wire. Austin says Jack Hughes has got to be hurting, no goals in 14 games. Yeah, he scored in his first game back against the Sabres. I was at that one, and then he hasn't scored since. You could tell he just doesn't have the same power on his shots at all. I'm still shocked, though, even despite that he hasn't been able to score. I would have never thought he would play that many games and not register a goal. It's kind of unfathomable. Brian, the schedule coming up is soft. We are better than all the teams who are playing the next 5 games. We can possibly go on a 7-game winning streak, 1 game at a time. Oh, you guys are nuts. Oh, man, a 7-game winning streak, that'd be crazy. But just win 3 out of every 4. Just consistently win 3 out of every 4. But obviously a 7-game winning streak sets you up pretty nicely. Justin says Dawes is not playing another game for the Devils. That definitely could be true. Red Devil says Jack is conditioning for the Olympics. That's all. He's been invisible lately. He clearly came back early and not at 100%. I agree with you. However, as I said in the chat to somebody in the first period, Jack Hughes, even at 60%, is still better than 90% of the players in the league, and certainly better than whoever else we would throw in the lineup if Jack was out. So, think of it that way. Like, okay, cool. Jack's 60%. Do you want to scratch him and have Glendenning back in? Let me know. Is that the logical move? Because when you consider what the alternative is, I'll take Jack Hughes at 40%. Keep in mind, he's not scoring goals, but he still has a ton of assists in that time, including the assist on the game winner from Nemo last night and some other big ones as well. B-Now says Brack got wrecked by Ovi and has never been the same. That was a while ago. A lot of people think that. I'm curious if there is anything to that. SJ says, I love Kobe. It's awesome that he hits stars knowing people want to fight him. Yeah. Throwback warrior. Love me some Kovacevic. B-Now says Teemo, if he doesn't show up on the score sheet, gets ripped a new one. Because there's a contingency of these people who've made it their mission to hate on Teemo. I think it's psychotic. For a team that I think most people would agree is too soft. If you removed Teemo Meier from this roster, a very soft team overall gets even softer. Austin says, I don't think any trades will be done by Fitz. Let's roll with what we have. I think that's the most likely scenario for sure. B-Now says, I'll take Brady for Jack and Luke. Red Devil Brownie has been great. He's all around been good for the team. And I love Grits. I loved watching him in the KHL, Mr. Grizzly. Yeah, I think Grits is going to be a good one. I certainly hope that his contract negotiations don't get messy and he doesn't miss a day of training camp. But we know how that goes. SJ, Teemo may not be scoring goals, but he does create chances with his size too. Or with his size. Too bad Devils never score on passes like Jack tonight. On his passes like Jack tonight. Yeah, you guys don't use punctuation. I'm reading this in real time, so I got to stutter step and restart because I'm trying to figure out where the break is. I hate you all. No, I'm kidding. No, listen, you guys know I'm a Teemo guy. Is he having an underwhelming season? Yes. As is the entire team minus very few guys. Everybody, I mean, if I'm thinking honestly, in terms of compared to expectations, I would say easily defense. I would say Nemo's having the best season just compared to expectations. And up front, I'd probably say Cody Glass. All the big guns, down years. Absolute down years. Florian says, I like Allen's body language. Yeah, it's the body language of a confident winner. Ace Ventura, NJ, if you had to pick one of the core to move, who would it be? Also, with the amount of games left, they can't afford to not ride the hot goalie. Completely agree. Give me 1 second. I got to step back in 1 second. I just got to step out temporarily. 1 second. I got a sickness. We've talked about this before. If I had to pick one, I probably would be Bradder just by process of elimination. And I love Bradder, but when you play the game, you're like, okay, they're not going to trade Jack. That's just not on the table. So he's off the list. Then you're like, okay, well, we desperately need, I think we desperately need another center, right? So how are you going to trade Nico? He's the captain, great two-way center. We don't have a lot of centers. How are you trading him? So then Nico's off the list. And then back to the Teemo conversation we are just talking about. For a team that lacks overall team toughness, Teemo's our only bull really up front, and especially in the top 6 that could produce a little bit. So he comes off the list. So literally by process of elimination, it leaves you with Bratter. Yes, I meant Glass has more goals than Brad. They're the same. They have the same amount of goals, but Glass has done it in 11 less games. Suk says, Nemo proved me wrong. I've always stood by the opinion that he's better than Luke, though, always. We'll see. Long careers ahead of them. But I don't, a lot of people, I think, would write that off as a crazy comment, or at least would have a couple months ago. I don't think it's that crazy at all. Especially if you're talking about two-way defensemen, right? Like pure offense. Maybe he never puts up the points that Luke will, but he's also going to be much less of a liability defensively, in my opinion. And not to mention the clutch gene, as my man Matt says, Captain Clutch. The clutch gene of Nemo is unbelievable. 3 overtime goals on the season, one of them for a hat trick. He had a shootout winner. He had the 5 seconds, even though they lost the game, he scored with 5 seconds left against the Islanders to send it to overtime. That secured a big point for the team. So, the clutch gene of Nemo is unrivaled. Some of these comments are crazy. Adam says, so now we're behind the 8 ball. So do we get a Fitz trade once the season is over? Fitz typically gets active in the off season. That seems to be when he, does his handiwork. So whether it's a trade, maybe free agent signings. I haven't even looked at the list, actually. Let's see. I looked at it a while ago, but I didn't think there was anything crazy on it. But in a new cap world, guys are going to get paid. Like, I'd rather go trade for guys with years left on their deal at the old prices. Oh man, I'm going to pull this up. Some of you are going to have fun with this. I guess I'll have to do a couple of these. And this is going to be... Come on. So, wow, this font is pretty small. This is the free agent list. You got Artemi Panarin, a bunch of goalies, Alex Ovechkin, Cale Makar, Patrick Laine. Laine is always a guy I was interested in. I'm not going to lie. What's he doing this year? I'm not saying I definitely want him, but I was always intrigued by him. Oh, he's on IR, I think. Got Laine, Trouba, John Carlson, Shea Weber. What? Oh, it just must be a contract on the books. He's on the list. John Robertson, Anders Lee, Malkin, Kopitar, a lot of old heads. I didn't realize. Oh, that's Zegras is a restricted free agent. Jaden Schwartz, Bjorkstrand, Charlie Coyle, Evander Kane. He was always a guy I was interested too. I didn't realize he was that old already. Tarasenko, Pajot. Alex Tuck is going to be a very sought-after individual. Jordan Eberle. Damn, all these guys get old quick. Alexiak. There's some names on there. I'd be curious to know what you guys would want to see, if anybody on that list. But I do think the best kind of approach would be to trade for a guy with some years on their contracts signed in the old world, where the cap hits aren't going to be crazy. Some of these guys, like Robertson's, going to get paid stupid money. A lot of Devils fans like, we should trade for Robertson. Like, I'm not against it, but you have to realize what comes after that. And in the summer, he's going to probably want like 12 to 13 million bucks. It's a lot of money. And then have to make a lot of moves to probably figure that out, depending on what Grits and Nemo get paid. Trade Luke and Jackson. I remember Running was mocking Glass's acquisition. First of all, I fully talked about this a million times. I don't run away from stuff that I'd said, and it was because of the context in which it happened. And I've given Glass his flowers multiple times this year and have said how amazing he's been. Even on today, I said he's the unsung hero of the season. But when we were all hoping for a big addition at the deadline and it's Cody Glass, like, that is underwhelming. That's not like here's the big boost to push the team into the playoffs and get him over the hump. It's just not. That's a depth move. We were all thinking and hoping for top 6, and we got bottom 6, and it's fine. He's been a great addition to this team, and I love Cody Glass. But given the backdrop of how he got here, it was disappointing at the time. David Chime says, please never play Glendenning again. Fourth line and PK so much better without him. I think we may have seen the last of him, honestly. Jared Barnes, been a Nemitz guy for a while. I think they handled the guy poorly. Still shows and gets it done. Definitely the most clutch guy on the team this year, and even got us our only win in the playoffs. Yeah. I mean, a double overtime playoff winner. I was going to say, up until does Brown have – I'm not sure if Connor Brown doesn't have an overtime playoff goal, then I think Nemo would be the only guy on the team that does. Let's see if I can pull that. I think Connor Brown has one. But yeah, our 21-year-old defenseman, one of the only guys the only guy besides Connor Brown to have one. Snow Devil says, Allen, third star is a joke and no star for Cody. Yeah, pretty wild, right? Being out great look by Kovacevic to set up that pass. Yeah, it was a great pass. Randall says, media didn't see the third period giving Allen the third star. Yeah, he should have been number 1. Yeah, I don't know. Red Devil, games in Canada. Your second star with 0 goals, 0 assists, and 0 points for your Edmonton Oilers, home of the Alberta Messiah, Zach Hyman. It's so fun. It is so funny. Like, what home cooking, right? Like, you give a guy on the losing team with no points. Brandon says, I had this opinion in the offseason. If we're not going to use Teemo shot in the power play right wing, why is he still here? I mean, they do use him on the power play. Sometimes he's on power play 1, sometimes he's on power play 2. He had a power play goal against Carolina a few games ago. Ace Ventura says, if we were a cusp team, is it worth buying at the deadline? I have no faith in the guy in charge. I also have no faith in the guy in charge. But what I talked about this last game too, and people for some reason look at buying as like you only do it if you're firmly in the playoffs. You could get a guy, you could buy a player that has 3 years left on his contract. So it's like, yeah, you're getting him for this season, but it's not a rental. You're not getting a guy. No one's suggesting, if you're kind of a fringe playoff team, to go and buy a player who's going to be an unrestricted free agent that you may or may not be able to sign. Like, and in some cases that might make sense too, if you have a good idea that you can sign him or you talk to their agent, however that all works out. But there's tons of guys that might have 3 years left on their deal. You could get them at the deadline now, whether you make the playoffs or not. They're here for 3 more years. So I do think there is some advantages to buying, quote unquote buying, even if you are not necessarily firmly in a playoff spot. But I don't expect the Devils to be doing that, if I'm being honest, just because what we've seen how Fitz has been operating in season. But I don't think it'd be a bad idea if there's any pieces available out there that make sense for the, beyond this season. Joe Mama says nobody is getting points. It's rough. Yeah, it's been pretty rough. The whole team's slumping together. Backs and racks, like someone said earlier, defense and the team in general look better with Luke. Serve Teemo made a pass from behind the net right in front of Jack, and Jack fell down. I mean, Jack kind of falls down often. I don't know. It happens. Slabosaurus, Ace, you're a stud, being sick going on 3 weeks and still doing these streams every game. Cheers, brother. Hope you get well soon. Yeah, I think I'm almost done with it, man. Brutal. But thank you. Gleason is another one of these Teemo haters. I think Runnin must love Trent Frederick's contract if he loves Teemo contract so much. I guess if everyone has a down year, it doesn't count for anyone. But why? But here's the thing. I'm not saying that, right? But where is the same energy for Nico and Brad and Jack? Like, you're singling out the guy that you want to make your target. Do you understand the hypocrisy here? Cool. Teemo's having a bad year, and so is everybody else. What is your point? Furthermore, what a joke. Trent Frederick, I had no idea his numbers were this bad. He has 2 goals and 1 assist for 3 points. You're going to compare Teemo Meier to a guy with 3 points? Teemo's got 26 points in 45 games. Like, come on. There's no comparison here. Snow Devil says, why do we draft goalies if we're going to let them walk before they fully develop? It's such a waste. Blackwood, Wedgwood, Schmidt, and Dawes next. If you want goaltenders, keep them. Yeah, goalies have been kind of a sore department for our beloved New Jersey Devils for a little bit now. On your list, again, like I said earlier, when I defend Fitz about things that I think are kind of unfair, I'm not going to blame him for Blackwood and Wedgwood. I think at the time, kind of moving on from those guys made sense. Now the Schmid one and Dawes, those are different to me. Blackwood and Wedgwood, like, okay. It sucks to see them go on to thrive on these, other teams. And let's be real. I could probably be a 500 goalie on the Colorado Avalanche because they're that good. But Akira Schmid, franchise legend forever on this channel. I've talked about him endlessly. Will forever be a franchise legend around here. The only goaltender not named Martin Brodeur to win a playoff round for the New Jersey Devils in the past 32 years. Let that sink in. Franchise legend. Comes in and saves the bacon. Down 2-0. Going into Madison Square Garden. All the Ranger fans are talking about a sweep. And Akira Schmid does it big. But he's a guy that I think was mishandled. Development not so good. They kind of yo-yoed him up and down between Utica and the Devils. I think he kind of got soured on the organization. And we moved on from him. I mean, that might end up being a pretty bad Fitz trade when you look back at it. How to turn Akira Schmid and a number 7 overall pick, which you wasted on Alex Holtz. So a potential NHL starting goalie and a number 7 overall for Paul Cotter. And I love Paul Cotter, but this is not great asset management, as they say. At all. But we'll see. I think Dawes is going to be an unfortunate kind of victim of the circumstance because I don't think anyone ever thought Jake Allen was going to sign here for the peanuts that he did. And I'm pretty sure Fitz probably thought, even at some point in the summer, that the tandem we were going to have this year was going to be Markey and Dawes. But then Jake Allen signs for $1.8 million. What a legend. Times 5 years. And that's kind of what happened to Dawes. It's unfortunate. It's super unfortunate. Tay McLeod says, of all of them, I agree. I'd say Bratt for trade. Benjamin, I got a fever, and the only is that prescription is more grits. Brandon, we have done permanent damage to Teemo playing him left wing for years now. I don't think so. It's just that, unfortunately, this entire team is struggling to find goals right now. Serve says, I'd never trade Bratt. Okay. Gleason says, we're paying 29-year-old Meier the same money for potential we are paying Luke. You're just like, your points make no sense, bro. You just compared him to Trent Frederick, who has 3 points. Like, give me a break. Complain about all the other contracts too. Beakfast says Glass needs to be on the second line at least. That's kind of wild. I mean, he's not gonna leapfrog Jack or Nico at center. Randall says you can't teach being clutch. Completely agree. And Nemo has it. Super clutch. That's not by mistake. A double overtime playoff winner, 3 overtime goals this season, a shootout winner. I mean, it's crazy. Tied up that Islander game, like I said. That's just his Glass is important. Remember how bad we were without him. Yeah, when he was down, we struggled too. It is crazy how many injuries this team has gotten. And, now Luke again. I mean, wow. Wild stuff. B now says trade Luke and Suk are in lockstep. What do you mean by that, B now? Expand on that. Backs and Racks, if the Devils win the next 2 games, then we can honestly say that they're better off without Luke and Nason and Glendenning. Well, I think Glendenning was kind of an obvious one. A guy that, unfortunately probably played too many games during this regular season out of necessity, and we had no one to really force him out. We'll see. I like Nason too. I think his injury kind of lingered from the summer. He had that surgery. Now he has to get another one. His season's probably done. Ace Ventura says, wouldn't be shocked if a contender has a D-man go down to injury before the deadline and be willing to pay a bit more for Dougie. Well, now with the Luke Hughes injury, that probably, I would say, definitely is going to impact Fitz's thought process on the whole thing. And maybe he'll just kind of wait it out closer to the deadline to see, if the value goes up, where the Devils are at the time. David says 145 watching and only 71 likes. We could do better. Hit the thumbs up. Or is there that many haters? I mean, I know I have a lot of haters. I didn't realize it was that many. Some of them out themselves in the chat, and some of them just watch silently. Jared says, would love Kadri on this team. Was sad we missed out on Sherwood. I would love Kadri too, but the problem with that's a risky contract, I would say. But if the Devils are truly trying to win now, I like that. I just don't know. It's hard for me to say any one player I would want them to target because I feel like you have to know what the whole kind of map looks like. And just grabbing one guy is not going to do it. If you have a game plan to get like maybe 2 or 3 guys, whatever it is, then I think it's a little bit easier to kind of see the vision. But right now, there doesn't really seem to be like a vision. Yeah, Gino's the dream. He's not going anywhere. I don't think so either. Randall says only one worth anything going anywhere is Tuck. We'll be interested to see what happens there. I think he's going to ultimately, now at this point, I'd say he probably re-signs in Buffalo. Randall says Robo, I think, stays in Dallas. It's interesting. Jared said, who would you trade to get Kadri, hypothetically? For any sort of guy like that, I personally would not want to trade roster players if possible. I would want to trade futures, trade draft picks. Look what winning teams do. Look what Vegas just did. Look what Tampa Bay Breezeball has been doing. They trade first-round picks because if you're trying to win now, you rather have guys that are going to help you win now, known commodities, not drafting these guys and hope they can help you 2, 3, 4 years down the line. You trade those picks for guys that can help you win a cup now. Now. So I would try to trade futures. Forgot about Pally. Thank you. Completely forgot about Pally. Doug says Glendenning is the product of not having a 3C. Exactly. But now the crazy part is I originally definitely was hell-bent on a 3C and pushing Glass down to 4C. At this point, Glass has been playing, in my opinion, like a legitimate 3C. I think he surprised a lot of people. I'm curious to know, what is the long-term vision? Are they going to continue to do the Cotter experiment at center? I don't really know. And it is crazy to me that we did not try Cotter at center when Jack and Glass were hurt. And, we had to play guys that shouldn't be playing NHL games and push Mercer off of wing to center. If there was ever a time to give Cotter another audition at center, I thought it would be then. And when it didn't happen, I just assumed that it was just not in the cards ever. Okay, they didn't try it now when we desperately needed centers. So for whatever reason, they are not willing to try Cotter at center and we'll never see it again. So I just kind of put it out of my mind as a possibility. But lo and behold, in game, 48 or 49, whatever it was, we see Cotter at center. So I'm curious to know what their long-term vision is with that is. But if they are not going to, or they don't want to keep Cotter at center, then if Glass is going to be your 3C, then at least upgrade the 4C. It cannot be Glendenning. It cannot be Lamico. It cannot be any of these guys. Lamico. It can't be any of these guys. You need to, at a minimum, upgrade your 4C if Cotter is not going to stay at center. Adam says, I think the Quinn Hughes shitting of the bed really sent negative shockwave vibes and split the dressing room. That's kind of a theory that's out there for sure. I mean, certainly with the timing of it all, it certainly seems like there could be some validity to it. Ace Ventura frustrates me is what will it take for this ownership group to move on from Fitz? If we make the playoffs and exit round 1 or 2, that's failure. I was with you. Eastern Conference Finals or bust. If I'm being real, man, I think even if we miss the playoffs, there's still a chance he doesn't get fired. If they make the playoffs, even if they get crushed in round 1, I think he's golden. Yeah, it's going to take a lot, man. I know the struggle is real. Red Devil says literally 5 games after they started playing Glendenning, I started yelling for them to bring up Haminaho instead. Yeah, but the difference is Haminaho's a winger and Glendenning's a center. That's the thing. It's not like the team was so in love with Glendenning, but they have no center depth. No center depth at all. Philip says, morning, off to work. Can this team still not score over 2 goals? Yes, Philip. That's still a problem. Was the top 6 non-existent again? Pretty much, yes. Pretty much, yes. I do think that, maybe he didn't demand, but his age or whatever, I do think that, his camp was kind of behind that. We're kind of getting jerked around here. It was fun. I won my playoff round. Now get me out of here. I do think there could be something to that. Trade Luke and Jack, have you sued the Devils for that Foodgate run-in that tarnished your reputation? No, man. I'm not a lawsuit guy. It is what it is. Brandon says it makes no sense to trade him. He probably wanted out of here. Maybe one day we'll get the real story. Every player will eventually want out of your New Jersey Devils eventually. Evan says, this chat is so negative, guys. Just a heads up, we won tonight. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. The negativity. Like, these are good times. We have victory drinks, guys. I have to put the fan back on. I'm dying. We have victory drinks. All is well in the world. These late night games are killer. I'll complain about everyone's contracts, to be fair, run, and then we're square. You always lead off with Teemo. You always come with the Teemo. Never see you complain about the other guys. Red Devil, I absolutely cannot wait for the arrival of Big Mike Yegorov and, God willing, a new GM by then. He looks like pretty legit. And I think Jakub Malik can make some noise as well. He had, I think, back-to-back shutouts in his starts recently for the Utica Comets. I think he could be a player as well. B now says Dawes might have more game than Markstrom at this point. Yeah, and we'll probably see him on a different team next year. Adam says, I would not trade Brad either. We need to move Hamilton and get Tuck. Throw in a prospect and a late rounder. Adam, your trade proposal is preposterous. Of all the crazy things people say in the chat, the one that does drive me the craziest, and this is a pet peeve, is just completely absurd trade proposals. Like, Adam, you're not getting Tuck for Hamilton, a prospect, and a late rounder. I promise you. Teams would pay way more than that. That's not even close to getting it done. That's not even in the stratosphere of almost realistic. Brandon says Fitz needs to get on his hands and knees and needs to beg Palat to retire. Jared says, I'm pro trading Nason when he's healthy. I liked his toughness, but he's been a black hole this season. So to that point, Jared, how many teams do you think will be looking for his services, and what do you think you would get for him? At this point, Palat's contract is better than Meier's. Oh, my God. You see, the blind haters are just so extreme. Just absolutely so extreme. It's crazy. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, B now. I've known this for a long time now. A real long time. Gleason says one does not simply rid themselves of the pally. It's true. It's very true. World's Worst Gamer, what about NJ Rays, Drew O'Connor, big two-way forward who just scored 16 before and may eclipse that this year. He's on a cheap contract too, a winger also. Like, listen, there's probably a bunch of guys in this world like that could be okay. But I think at this point, the Devils need to not necessarily bring in a whale, but it's got to be a much bigger fish. Like these fringe kind of guys that you're hoping that they're going to, you do have to identify, I think, guys that have much more potential than what they've done thus far on whatever team they're on. That's how you could build a winning team, is kind of buy low on guys that you think have a higher ceiling. But I think you also have to bring in known commodities of legit bona fide players. Like, we know what we're getting with this guy, but we'll see. Jared says, I agree with you about trading picks to win now. We have plenty of future with prospects. Yeah, just if you're going to try to make a push with this team or anything remotely resembling the team as it is now, you're running out of time quickly. Chips got to go in the middle. G Orlando, just hypothetically, if the Devils could take a Rangers player since they are sellers, who would you take? Oh, my God. Let's see. If I had to pick one, Probably Trocheck. Center depth could put up points. Obviously, downside is that he's old, but that's like a win now kind of addition. Randall says, hope Glenn and Lemico never play again for us. You're probably only one injury away from seeing one of them. I think without injuries, though, I think you probably will not. I mean, how are you going to change the lineup from what they've dressed the last couple games? Backs and Racks leave the roster as is on this road trip, even Cotter on center. I'm perfectly fine with that too. Yeah, Plot won 2 cups with the Lightning. David, good night. David, I'm with you about being puzzled why they didn't move Cotter to center earlier. He's played most of his career there and is decent at faceoffs. Analytics committee chaired by Fitz computed Mercer at C. Yeah, super strange. You know, I mentioned it way back when all these injuries were happening. I was like, maybe we'll see Cotter, you know, thrown back at center to see what he's got. And when it did not happen, again, pushing Mercer off of wing where he was performing well and playing guys like Glendenning and Lamico, whatever the hell his name is, I just thought that it was just not an option. I was just like, okay, well, for whatever reason, you know, they don't want to play Cotter at center. But now to do it, you know, where we are now, it's just like, well, why didn't you try that earlier? I don't know. Slow Devil Ace, what are your thoughts on how Cotter has been in center? I mean, he hasn't, that whole line hasn't played a ton or really been noticeable for the most part. I think it's going to take him some time to kind of settle in. He hasn't played center and shit. I'm trying to think. When was the last time? Let me see. How much ice time did he get tonight? Yeah, 9 minutes. He had 9:11. Dodonov at 8:45. Yeah. Hopefully he gets comfortable and we could get 4 lines that could chip in. Would be nice. That's the dream, right? Have 4 lines that could contribute. Jared, I'm a Devils fan for sure, but I watch as many games as I can. I ought to as much as I pay for all the streaming. Plus, I'm just a hockey fan. You know, all the different apps and stuff. It's just such a pain in the ass. Suk says Plot was once a player. Anyone would want on their team. Evan says this chat is all about trades and negativity. How about some positivity? Our boy Ace is here at 2:30 a.m. after a win. Grow up, people. I'm flying high. I got a victory drink. Life is good. Looking forward to Friday. Can they go 3-0 on the trip? Can they go 3-0 on the trip? Red Devil says what's crazy is we literally won more games than the Caps, Philadelphia, and the Pens, and we're still in the basement of the Metro Division. I hate the loser points thing. I'm not a huge fan of the loser points situation really either. Wait, let me move this for a second. I'm trying to see something on my screen. A lot of can you guys still hear me? This cord is like messing me up. It's probably too far. A lot of people want to see like a new kind of points format. I think like 3 points for a regulation win, 2 points for an overtime win, and then I guess the loser points still. I've seen some other things kind of thrown out there as well, but you know, it does. You know, there are some teams that I think the Islanders have like 14 loser points a couple years ago. It was like completely out of control. That's just, I think the chat is traumatized by all the losing. I think the fan base at large is traumatized by all the losing. Jared says, I don't know if we could get anything for Nason, but I'm definitely for freeing up cap. Well, everyone's for freeing up cap, but that's easier said than done, as as we're seeing with several guys right now. Evan said, I'd like to go game by game with this team. If we were 10 points out of a playoff spot, yeah, go ahead and trade everyone and be as negative as you want. Benjamin, Nico not looking very happy lately either. Kovacevic obliged in 0.5 seconds. Yeah, he did. Beautiful sight. Heavier, edgier, more violent. Mr. Kovacevic, welcome back to the decor. You guys know I've been a big fan of his for a while. If we deal for Zibanejad, I'm moving to the Yukon territory to watch dog sledding. Oh, boy. David, they asked me a hypothetical. I don't really want him. They said if you had to pick a Ranger. This is why I don't like playing these stupid games, because now you're like, oh, I'm not saying I want him. I'm certainly not targeting him. They just said if you had to pick a Rangers player, so that's who I'd pick if I had to. Trading Luke and Jack said, Running, will you be doing post games during Olympics? SST would make a comeback. I think so, but I have to see, because it's messy, right? I'm in a foreign country. They would probably have to be a good amount. I have to kind of get there and see the lay of the land. I don't know how quickly I'll be able to get back to how quick I'll be able to get back where I'm staying from the arena, even though it's not that far. I don't know. It could end up being a whole thing, but there's definitely going to be tons of logs. There will be tons of log footage in Milan, Italy, at the Olympics, at the game, the arena, all that. Walking around Italy, it'll be a record amount of food reviews. I'm looking forward to it. Adams says, about time John McClane was in the Ring of Honor. Love Johnny Mac. Love Johnny Mac. Should be a very good night at the arena. Good night, Jared. Oh, my God, it's so late. One more of these crazy late nights. Yeah, I like loser points when we get them, right? Ace Ventura says, if Luke needs surgery and we were in the mix, might as well go for a whale and dump some picks and probably Casey. That's where I'm at. If there is the opportunity to make a huge move by trading futures, I think we're at the point where you try it. For sure. I would love to trade picks, prospects to make a big addition. Now, I don't know, who that could be, given that a lot of teams are going to be on the cusp of a playoff berth, and so there'll probably be a very low amount of sellers comparatively to the amount of teams trying to buy, and probably way less than in most years. B now says, Chad is traumatized by 230 with SST. I mean, Souk. I mean, wait, B now, did you used to have a different name at some point? At some point recently, the names changed, so it really messed me up. The names changed, like the format on YouTube, I believe. Randall says, over a decade long of losing doesn't help our mindset on the team. Completely agree. Completely agree with you there. Loser mentality has plagued the organization. It is time to break free of it. World Tour Gamer says, I'll be angry for 20 days or whatever. The Olympics are phenomenal. Embrace it. Embrace it. The best hockey on planet Earth. International best on best. How could you not like Olympic hockey? I'll be worried about Devils players getting hurt. It happens, man. I can't live in that world. You got to just let it rip. This is the most competitive hockey you are ever going to see. Tay McLeod, I haven't completely given up on the season yet. It'll be tough to make the playoffs, but it's not impossible. And they seem to be starting to pick up their play. Absolutely. It's not going to be easy, but just keep winning these games and keep hope alive. Red Devil, Vegas, Edmonton, Pittsburgh, LA, Dallas, Minnie, and Seattle all have more than or close to 10 loser points already. It's ridiculous. LA has 13 loser points run. That's a lot of loser points. Oh, my God, that's a lot of loser points. Casey will have a better NHL career than Luke. That's a pretty bold one. Anything's possible, but that's pretty bold. SJ, yep, I am going. My plan is to go to all the USA games. I would like to go to a couple non-USA games, but I've never been to Italy before. I've said it on here in the past. It's a 2-for-1 for me. It's 2 bucket list items. Italy was always on the list, and Olympic hockey was always on the list. So Olympic hockey in Italy, sign me up. And I'm really hoping to see USA win a gold. It really would be just an incredible experience. But I plan on going to all the USA games. Hopefully they pull this off. And I'd like to see some other games as well. But I also want to go travel, and see some other stuff while I'm there. But there's so many friggin' games in that compressed schedule that there's not a ton of time. But I would like to see at least a Switzerland game. I'd like to see Nico and Teemo and Siegs, and I'd like to see Bratter as well. But USA is definitely the priority. I'd like to see Italy too. The host country, I'm Italian, would like to see Italy. But it should be a good tournament. I'm hoping USA could pull it off. Witnessing USA win a gold medal it's not the same as the Devils winning the cup, but it's like, that next step down. Randall says, I'm looking forward to seeing Team USA. Let's get that gold, boys. Yeah, I'm going to bring you guys along on the journey. There's going to be heavy vlog content. Lots of hockey, lots of food. Benjamin said, no Russian soured it for me a little. Can't lie. Yeah, I wish they were in it. I don't know why they didn't do what they did. I don't remember what year it was, but I'm pretty sure they let them play, but their jersey was Olympic athletes from Russia or something. It was some corny thing, but that was how they got in. Just do that. But to not have them in it, I think is absurd. Russia would have a great team. You're talking about, the old school guys on the way out, Malkin, Ovechkin. Their goalies would be insane. Sorokin, Vasilevsky, my God. Yeah, Kucherov. The Russian team would be filthy. Got to get on a gondola for sure if you're going there. That'd be in Venice, right? Watch out for Team Greece. Hold up. I don't even think Greece is in it. For men, you got Slovakia, Finland, Sweden, Italy, Switzerland, France, Czech, Canada, Latvia, America, Germany, Denmark. Was that? I can't tell these people are joking or not. Brandon says, I wish we had a competent GM to get another bowl to play with Teemo. A line like that would be fun to watch. We need some more bruisers. I fully want some more bruisers. Trade Luke and Jack says Russians should be banned forever for what they do to Ukraine. But here's my issue with all this, right? The hockey players have nothing to do with any of this. Nothing to do with any of this. So I just don't think it should be, that the players should pay the price for, I guess, what do we call this? War crimes, right? Essentially, war crimes is the reason why they're not in it. They should just do what they did back in the day. And it was like Olympic. Let me see if I can find the jersey. Yeah, I don't know what the difference is. I guess this is something new, but they're right in the middle, former New Jersey Devil, Ilya Kovalchuk. But yeah, the jersey says Olympic athletes from Russia, and I guess they couldn't use the flag or whatever. Like, why couldn't they just do that again? Like, we just want to see, and I'm sure the players would be fine with that. We just want to see the best teams possible in the tournament. And you could do that again. I just don't know why that's not an option. I was like, what the hell? It's late, man. I'm a little delirious. I'm like, Greece isn't in this thing. Then you're making me think I'm crazy. Then I had to look it up. That was a good one, Adam. That was good. The man from Jersey says, Ace, much respect for being live this late. Yeah, I just woke up after working a few. Let's the Devils. Good luck with that, man. I'm going to not get much sleep tonight. I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, too. But, we're just out here with victory drinks. Ace the Husky Scar. We were in Venice a few months ago. If you do go, just do the crossing gondola for €2 instead of rentals for about €100. Let me take a note of that. What the hell is a crossing gondola? I'm gonna have to look into this. Red Devil Russians would have a stacked team this year, especially with this younger and older generation of players together. Too bad this would have been Ovi's last chance to play Olympic hockey. Yeah, I agree. It's just so weird. David, I don't like that they punish players for the actions of their country. Completely agree. Like, it should, and if, like I said, if that they feel that strongly about it, then let them wear the jerseys like the ones I just showed. Team Greece is the Jamaican bobsled team of hockey. Hilarious. Ace Ventura, do you think Markey sees playing time in the Olympics? It's a good one. I think a lot depends on, like, I think in some of the earlier rounds, there could probably be games where the teams are super bad, where it's almost a guaranteed win. Or at some point, there might be games that essentially are meaningless if they're kind of seeding or position for, like, the playoff round is already secure. I'm not an expert in all the rules because there's so many different things with the way it all works. But I think it's possible. I think it's possible he gets a game. I just said Switzerland will be my second favorite team. It will be fun watching Nico. And I forgot about Nemo. He's going to be there too. World's Worst Gamer agrees sports should not have politics and such ruin it. It is like the BS happening with the Ottawa Senators. Shut up about real life and just let us have our hockey. It's pretty funny. Every Olympics I throw out Team Greece with Chris Chelis as captain. When you said captain, I thought you just like had a typo and you meant like coach or manager or something. I say they're in Group G or H. People look, they can't find them. Then I tell them they play at 4 a.m. It's pretty good. Amagi, there's also Russian players like Panarin and Zadorov that spoke out against Russia's actions and whatnot. Like, but in the end, it shouldn't even matter. Just let them wear the Fugazi jersey like this one. Olympic athletes from Russia. They don't have the flag, and life goes on. And then we see another amazing team in the tournament. So they're obviously way shorter. But if you want to cross the little river, you could walk around or take a short gondola. Obviously, much shorter. I'm just trying to get to wherever the food is. It's gonna be. I'm hoping I don't come back 60 pounds heavier. I know many people have went to Italy and they're like, I ate my face off and I came back and like lost 2 pounds, or I came back and weighed the same. And I think that's a function of their food just being overall much healthier and cleaner for you, but in conjunction with people typically walking a lot on trips like this. So I'm hoping to walk a lot, but I'm certainly going to eat exponentially more than anyone I know that has ever been. They're like, oh, I ate a lot. And I'm like, listen, bud, like, you know, your eat a lot and my eat a lot. Like we're in different tiers of this thing. So you don't understand the devastation and destruction that I will do, because I've waited pretty much my entire life for this. And you're going to see it all in video. For those of you that have any interest in it, you will see it in the Olympic vlogs. Italy's roster was unveiled less than 24 hours ago. Okay. Benjamin, it's a good ride from Milan to Venice, going to eat up time. Check out La Spezia. It's closer, and rule great wine. I'm meeting up with Traveling Devil out there. He's a pro. I don't really know anything, but he's been before. He knows what he's doing. Trento's a nice town too. Ryder, stopping in real quick before bed. Crazy how the youth of this team up and coming is Nemitz, Grits, Lenny, and maybe Glass. Could be. Quebec Sans Frontiers, just coming back from work, watched the win at my job. Nice. Only the score, but at least it was nice to enjoy the W. And now, Ace, for me, it's time Dior winter beverage. Victory drinks taste so much better than loser beverages, and we're drinking them on back-to-back nights, guys. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? World's Worst Gamer, I guess I could make the 20-day or so NHL break tolerable by watching that. I don't know if that was in reference to. I missed it. Ryder, imagine building around those young players and blowing up the top end, all fiction from Fantasy Island with Fitz at the helm. Hopefully they could still find a way, man. All it takes is a miracle run. Get hot at the right time, get hot goaltending. You never know what could happen. You never know. And that's what I have to cling on to. What else do we have? Richard, I'm a Rangers fan, but my brother is a Devils fan, so I enjoy your lives. What's going on with our teams? Our teams suck, but we're on a 2-game winning streak right now. We're hoping to sweep this West Coast, Western Canada trip and keep things interesting. Red Devil, I'm afraid of what happens to my weight and blood pressure when I finally visit Italy. After 10 days of eating my way up and down the boot, someone is going to have to roll me onto an extra roomy plane. Yeah, I'm hoping that what people have told me about the food just being better for you, in conjunction with the lot of steps, I am allow me to flex. I'm gonna have to do it again. Some of you probably saw this already, but I might have to get rolled on the plane too. I'm hoping that I could be bailed out by a ton of steps. Now, there is a lot of the hell? Here it is, folks. This is my career high thus far. I don't know that I'll break it in Italy. I probably won't break it in Italy. I will try to break it domestically in New Jersey or somewhere in America, maybe this upcoming summer. But that is your boy's record step count. This was in August, I believe. Yeah, the end of August. There it is. Read it and weep, kids. Read it and weep. I have to say, that's pretty impressive. I'm impressed with myself there. You're not imagining things. That says 41,366 steps. So if I could walk maybe half that a day, if I could do like 20,000, 25,000 steps a day in Italy, I might not come back 30 pounds heavier. But you're gonna see the vlog of the consumption. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be absolutely wild. Maybe an ocean liner. Italian goalie is huge. Second round pick of the Ducks, Damian Clara. Really? Holy, he's 6'6", 214. 21 years old. He was picked in the second round. Oh, he played 2 games in the AHL. Yeah, I'd like to see an Italy game. The joys of working nights and being your own boss. Very nice. Ryder says, what else do we have? Night, bud. Let's take the W to bed with us. Hit the like on your way out, folks. Appreciate that. Hit the thumbs up. Red Devil, the pluses, there's a lot of walking in all of Europe. Yeah, I'm going to need to do it. Because I'm going to be eating a lot. The man from Jers 201, I must say Cody Glass has been impressing me lately. I think you joined us late. I did proclaim Mr. Glass as my unsung hero of the season thus far. And probably compared to expectations and contract, probably our best forward on the season. Cody Glass is the best player in the team. Suk says that's a great run and no joke. 40K is solid. Yeah, it was a brutal one. But I thought about pushing it a little further, but I was like, I'm done. I think I was walking at night, and I think I stopped around 10 or 11. I thought about trying to push for 45, but I was like, I'll check out there. I had tons of days in the 20s, mid-20s, high 20s. Pyro, how you doing? I am going to Italy for the Olympics. And I'll document it for those that care to see. There will be some vlogs. Lots of hockey, lots of food. Lots and lots of food. Hockey food sites. Yeah, Italy food gate coming soon. Oh, man. World Wars Gamer, good night. Snow Devil, glad the boys got me the birthday win. Is today your birthday? Happy birthday. Dun, dun, dun. The late night edition. We have one more of these, and that's it for the year. I can't say that I'm sorry about that. One more of these for the year. The super late night. And that one, let me double check. The next game is on MSG, I believe. Yes, it is. So you're talking about, that could be the latest one of the year. That should be like a 1:30 a.m. But it's a Friday, so maybe some folks will stay up for that. We'll see. Man from Jersey, I went to bed right after the game, woke up, saw the live was on, and tuned in. Cody Glass. Oh, I'm sorry. You came late? You came late, the man from Jersey. Let me help you out here. What a game from Cody Glass. A goal and an assist. One of the surprises of the season and the unsung hero thus far, in my opinion, for sure. Hands down, Cody Glass. Suk says the Devils lost on my birthday. Screw him. Good night, Evan. Red Devil, only way I'm getting a birthday win is if they're in a cup final and the season runs late due to a lockout. Oof. I think they're trying to actually end it even earlier now, right? Weren't they saying they want the cup to be awarded sooner? Take care, Benjamin. Pyro. I'm going to enjoy it. Oh, I'm going to enjoy it. Yes, I'm Italian. didn't get a lot of playing time tonight. Let's see how it works out. But I mean, the team has won 2 games, so I'm not going to complain about anything. I'm easy to please. Win the game, and I don't care about anything. I'm curious to see if the experiment continues, but I'll take my chances with that versus throwing Cotter back on wing and playing Glendenning. You know? All right, folks, this is the final countdown. Wow, it's 3 a.m. Shout out to all of you. Gonna use the bathroom real quick. Well, I'll put this up. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. Throw out your final comments, thoughts. I'd like some suggestions. Like what other, and especially for the summer, I'm curious. Like, let me know. And again, I can't just because it's a suggestion doesn't mean automatically mean I'm going to do it. But I'm curious, even during the season, what other types of videos would you guys like to see? Any suggestions with stuff like that? Summertime ideas? I'm curious. Let me know what you guys, if you have any suggestions, throw them out there. Always looking for good suggestions. No one's really made any in a minute. Suggestions, thoughts, comments, but I'm definitely looking for suggestions. Throw them out there. I'm going to the bathroom real quick, and we will start shutting this baby down slowly when I come back. Be back in a minute and a half or so, and look forward to see what you guys come up with in the chat there. Be right back. All right, we're back. Let's see what you guys got to say. 10 a.m. Where are you located? Ace the Husky Star. Randall, you think Fitz giving more control to Kiefer recently? I don't know that there was never really definitive proof that he was meddling in the on-ice affairs. We don't really know. A lot of people have certainly speculated it. I don't know that it is true. But who really knows? I don't think Keefe would take kindly to that. He doesn't seem like the type of guy that likes outside interference, but who really knows what goes on behind closed doors? Yeah, we're winning games, right? Who's going to complain? Suk. This is funny. You should make a video on why advanced stats are overrated and why the eye test prevails overall. Listen, I think the stats, I think they have a place, but I just think the overemphasis has been, way too much. Like, I think some of these teams are like living and dying with it and making every decision by it. And like tonight, right? Like there is no, analytics charts or graphs for what, that whole sequence of Kovacevic when he cracks McDavid and then he drops the gloves. Like there's no way to track that. That matters. Like that really matters. There is no way to measure that with the charts and graphs. And so for people to just strictly live in this world of data, I think is crazy. I think it's completely crazy. And furthermore, these weren't even a thing probably till 10 or 15 years ago at all. So I don't know. You guys know where I stand with all of it. I think they have their place, but I think it's just way, way, way overemphasized. Pyro, tour of New Jersey and foods. So I have an idea. I'm hoping to be able to do it in the summer. Something that kind of ties New Jersey food and hockey together. I wanted to do it last summer, but I had a lot going on in my personal life, and it didn't really come to fruition. But I'm hoping this summer to do some really cool stuff. We'll see how it goes. The tour of New Jersey food series would last 120 episodes. It could last forever. Quebec Sans Frontiers, please, Ace, you need to put back the Running with the Devils song at the beginning of your stream. I love all your sound effects, by the way. There was something glitchy with it. I know. So just so you know, it's not in the live stream. Something was wrong with it. I got to take a look at that. But that is there in the regular videos. If you ever watched any of the regular videos that are not the live, it is still there. Ace the Husky Star, I'm Canadian military. Very nice. Living in Latvia. Okay. The man from Jersey 201, with the way Luke held out, you would think he'd be performing like Cody Glass. Nemo and Glass are giving me hope for this team moving forward. Allen was huge tonight as well. Yeah, I don't know. You came late. Earlier, I said, in terms of guys living up or exceeding expectations and their contracts, on defense, it's easily Nemo, and up front, it's Cody Glass. Yeah, how do you track Jake in the third, right? I mean, I guess there is analytics for that, though. Their favorite goals saved above expected and high danger chances and all of that. I'd imagine those would be very favorable analytic numbers for Jake Allen tonight. Raw5315, Johnny Macnight on Tuesday. I sense very little anticipation for it amongst fans, probably because he hasn't worn a Devil jersey in like 30 years. You going, Ace? Of course I'm going. You guys know me. I'm Mr. Old School, Mr. Behind me and the glory years, the New Jersey Devils. I would never miss a Ring of Honor night. But to your point, I think us old timers are so few and far between that I do think you're correct. It seems like people just don't care about it. And like, I get it, right? If you weren't a fan back then, how would you care about it? Or at least, how would you care about it anywhere near the level someone like me would, or anyone else who lived during the time and watched Johnny Mac play and watched him win the cup with the team in 95. And so I do think you are right. There is very little anticipation for it, sadly, but Johnny Mac obviously has meant a ton to the organization. Scored the big goal in 1988 in overtime against Panger and the Blackhawks to send the Devils to the playoffs. Had a monster playoff that year, and had big moments in the 95 season in the first cup. So I'll never miss a night like that. I certainly will be there, but it is interesting that it does seem like, and I've said this with the channel as well, anytime I've made a video about like an old school guy, or even with some of the interviews, there is a noticeable, you just look at, everything, the metrics of the video, they don't perform nearly as good as anything remotely current. We just live in the current world. Everyone wants stuff about current, and that makes sense. I just didn't realize the drop off between kind of modern and old school Devil stuff would be so great. But I mean, it does make sense, right? I mean, there's kids in these lives sometimes that weren't even born, when they weren't even born. They were born after the Devils' last cup. There's a ton of 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds, even kids in their young 20s. Like, so I get it. They have no personal connection. Randall says advanced stats good if taken along with the eye test. That's where I'm at. Suk, is it not obvious that people don't care about it? Look at the Devils discourse online. These people generally weren't here for the glory days. It is true. Few and far between, which is kind of crazy because I'm old, but I'm 40. I was a little kid when the dynasty started, but I would imagine how is there not more people my age and even to 60? But I guess there's not a lot of 60-year-olds online. I don't know. I get all of it to some extent, but you'd imagine there would be more of the longer time fans kind of around. But this is a young a young person's world, I guess, and especially with all the online stuff and all of that. So I definitely get it. Randall says, hope his coaching tenure doesn't sour his night. I don't think it will at all. Johnny Mack was an assistant coach on that 2003 team as well. What a team. The man from Jersey 201, I agree, Suk. I'm a big eye test guy, and Luke doesn't pass. Not trying to turn this into a Luke bash session. He's a baby, guys. I'm hoping he figures it out. Suk, you could just tell by some of the brain-dead takes or excuse for a losing organization. The losing mentality, I think, has plagued everybody for a while now. Pyro, I wish I was a fan back then. Speaking as a new fan, it makes me sad. You missed out on a good time. Hopefully there's future good times on the horizon for us all to celebrate together, but it will never be the same as it was back then. I mean, it was phenomenal. Just Hall of Famers on the ice, bruisers, a GM that wanted to win at all costs. It was certainly a completely different world. All right, that's it, folks. It's ridiculous. I was going to say it's ridiculously late. It's not ridiculously late. It's ridiculously early. Appreciate everybody for coming out. The boys did it big, beating the Oilers, surviving by the skin of their teeth, beating the Oilers by a score of 2-1. They are now 2-0 on the Western Canada road trip, looking to go 3-0 Friday night in Vancouver. You know your boy will be back with the post-game at a 1:30 a.m. start time, give or take. Gonna be wild. Hope to see some of you there. It's a weekend, so maybe there'll be some people there, especially if they win. I'll probably have a video or two coming out before that. Maybe a live. I don't know. There'll be something before that, though. What's that? Tomorrow's Wednesday, right? Yeah. It's 2 full days. Yeah, there'll be something coming before then. For sure. Red Devil, I'm only 39. Our dynasty years are during my childhood and teenage years. Last cup, I was in high school. It was awesome. New Jersey Devils 2003 Stanley Cup champions merch everywhere. Yeah, Red Devil, during the 03 Cup, I was a senior in high school. It was amazing. Completely amazing. Thanks for coming out, Randall. Ace Living posted here with Russia being a little bit aggressive. Okay. I'm not too much on the world events. I know there's a lot of things going on all over the place. Good night. Randall says, let's keep it going. Let's go Devils. All right, that's it, guys. Archer, I was not alive during any Devils Cup win. Just go on YouTube and look up some clips, and you'll see why all of us that lived through it are obsessed. What an era. That's it. Devils do it big. Survive. Great night for Jake Allen. Great night for my boy Johnny Kovacevic. Great night for Grits. Great night for Glass. The boys are staying alive. Got to string together these wins. And that's it. I'll be back soon. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. Keep your eyes peeled. I always got a ton of stuff in the works. There'll be probably, like I said, a video or two or live. I don't know. Something. There'll be something before that Friday night live, which is hopefully our 3rd consecutive game drinking victory drinks on this Western Canada road trip. But that's it. Thank you all for watching. I love you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go Devils.